I was telling my guest that what he went through is so amazing. There should be a Hollywood movie about this. You're going to be so shocked. He's a nice, all-American kid, football, swimming, good grades, and then out of the blue, something happens. He's sledding one day, and he sleds right into a car, and he's damaged physically, and he'll never be better, and his whole identity is lost. He can't be an athlete anymore. And then he starts running with the wrong crowd, and drugs, and guns, and violence. And fortunately, he didn't die. Many of his friends died in high school that he was running with. But as a result of what he went through, he finally snapped. He lost his ability to function as a human. So they put him into the Delaware State Institution for the Insane. And they decided the only thing they could do was an electronic lobotomy. That means he would be confined to being about a 3-year-old for the rest of his life. But 2 days before the lobotomy, a courageous man shares the gospel with him. And Gary Whitstone said a prayer of salvation. He didn't understand what he was doing, but all of a sudden, after that prayer, he was in his right mind. So he goes to the doctor, because in 2 days he's going to have this lobotomy. And what happened, Gary?
I end up in the doctor's office, and I'm telling him exactly what happened. Here I am. I'm telling him I've got long red hair, long beard. They've taken the hand restraints off, feet restraints. And I sit down. I said, look, my mind is sound. He said, how'd you get a sound mind? I said, Jesus came in. He says, so you're hearing the voice of God?
Yeah. I said, yeah. Hearing voices. You tell a psychiatrist this in a mental institution.
Yeah. So I'm hearing the voice of God. So the guy pushes his glasses down his nose and sits back. He says, he writes something down on his pad. I could tell the guy did not believe me. So I lunged over the table and I beat that guy in the face. I mean, you know, that's what a mental patient does. So anyway, I mean, how many other people act like the devil after they get born again? So anyway, so, you know, here I am, and they put me back in restraints. I'm going back to isolation. They've shot me up again with the drugs they knocked me down with, and here I am, and they put me in this corridor going back to my isolation ward, which is where that's where I lived. I lived in an isolated cell. And they took the restraints off my hands and my feet, and Sid, I heard an audible voice speak to me. I'm standing in the middle of that hallway, and I hear this voice say, run. Well, I'm a mental patient, so I'm thinking, where?
Well, everything's padlocked. Where are you going to run?
I mean, I'm in a caged area. They've got padlocks on all the walls of the doors, everything. If I go back and forth, I got about 15 feet to run. If I go back and forth this way, I got 5 feet. So I get this next thought, run! I hear it again, and I look over to my left, and there's a door that had several deadbolts on it, chain lock, and it was taken off and open. And I ran out of the state hospital that day, went into the solarium where the more trusted inmates were, you know, the mental patients. And I remember that because when the state police cruiser brought me in months ago, I remember seeing there was more stable people. So I run in there and I said, I'm on a run. So you hear these people going, run, 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 run. You know, I mean, yeah, I mean, so a guy throws this big, huge blue pea coat over on me and a big boat shoe, size 14, 15s, and I wear a size 9.5. Anyway, so I'm running out of and I'm thinking, they're going to think I'm running from the mental hospital. I mean, I got property of state hospital shirt, property of state hospital pants, you know. So I tucked my beard in, put the overcoat on, say, hey, bub, and I walked straight out, and the guard lets me out of the mental hospital grounds.
Yeah, but then, listen to this. When he gets out, a car is heading right for him. Quickly, what happened?
I ran right in the middle of that road, and the car went through me. The next thing I knew, I'm on the sidewalk, and I'm thinking, what was that? And I saw this car pull over off the side of the road, so I thought, oh, man, they're going to turn me in. So I started running down the road.
But many years later, what happened?
That woman that was in that car was a psychologist in the state hospital She was a regular psychologist, and she saw a man with red hair, deep blue eyes, come up onto her windshield, and she thought she killed the man. But she said all of a sudden his body passed through her car. And she was shocked, got over on the side of the road, and an audible voice of God spoke to her, "Do not turn him in, he belongs to me."